Okay, the channel is live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on so many levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm Christiana Ellis, and I am the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, Jason Banks as Radius,
Greetings, everyone.
David Archambault as Kneecap,
He is falling.
Paul Weimer as Tarsus,
Designation Charsus. Current desire to revive our chatline filled by treacherous hags.
what was that word? To revive our
Our fallen chatline.
chat. I don't know that word. That's a new one for me. Nobilis Reed as Cuspid,
Blessings of Belisama upon you.
and Millie Cady as Coracoid.
Greetings. Ba-dum-bum.
And together they are known as the Skeleton Crew on their adventures through Planescape and the Outlands. When we last left our heroes, they had discovered that a hag had infiltrated their number by disguising themselves as one of your own, and through that deception managed to briefly take control of your walking castle. When you arrived to fight them off and take back what was not, take back what had been stolen, you were successful in driving off the hags, or rather killing them. One of them tried to get away and didn't make it. But you discovered to your dismay that although you have now recovered the castle, the owner of that castle, who has been allowing you to use it, was slain by the hags in her own attempt to defend the castle. Also, Radius set off a fireball in the library.
Yeah,
But,
so
you
I
know,
don't even know what's happening with the castle and everyone up top. I'm trying to deal with the freaking fire.
So I'd say at this point the fires are out. However, some books have been damaged.
It was a tiny fire. Just
Well, it's
kind of-
a fireball 40 feet across.
Yeah.
it wasn't
If
that
that's a
high.
small fire, dude, I don't want to see a conflagration.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have done it as acid.
That
If you could-
might have actually been better, but I'm
well,
not
I
going to quote
think
myself on that.
in future, when you're dealing with books and you're choosing an element, cold, how about?
Yeah,
Or
cold works.
thunder, if that's an option.
Sonic, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, it was that. It's okay, I'll try something else next time. It's fine.
as long as we've had that discussion.
So I think Malleus, your kobold companion, extra big fan of that library, has dropped to his knees in despair. Is pounding the ground in frustration, and then occasionally raising his fists to the sky. And then the universe flickers around you in a way that you have seen a couple of times before. And you feel briefly, once again, this strange splintering, as though you are perceiving many different shattered fractions of the world all simultaneously. When this effect fades, as it has the last few times, Malleus is no longer here. And also, out the windows, it seems to be darker outside. And when you check, it appears that there is now a dense fog over the region where you currently have your walking castle. It was a clear day only a moment ago.
Oh,
Okay.
That's not ominous at all.
No, not at all whatsoever.
Do we have anyone who can potentially cast Speak with Dead?
Not me.
Isn't that a cleric spell? If it is, then
It is, yes.
I can't do it night. Now I'm prepared, but wait.
Okay.
Speak with Dead is 3rd level. I'd have to prepare it for tomorrow.
Okay.
I will do
Yeah.
that. I will get that set up. I also want to set up to cast Gentle Repose tomorrow as well. So
Right.
I'll do be
Right.
stuff like
We'd had that
Yeah.
discussion. I
right.
remember.
We had that discussion last time to preserve her body.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kneecap
And-
is moving her body down
Mm-hmm.
to the library and laying her out in front of the sarcophagus with her ancestor.
What
And
I
about
was
the?
just gonna
there,
say put her in one of the beds, but
Yeah, that's just as viable.
I I think
a
it's
little
more
more secure and less likely to get
well.
hit by fireballs.
Kneecap is doing it there because it's a significant.
You're thinking of the reverence factor
Yeah,
Right,
rather
but
than the com-
we're going to be bringing her back as soon as we can. So um I think it's more reasonable to just put her in a bed and
but it's guardian, and the
the thing in the sarcophagus can't do anything if her body is threatened.
I will be here too.
You're gonna stay here the entire time.
Yes,
That's not necessarily practical.
So you're not gonna come with us when we go to get get our keys at the gates that we still have to visit. You're gonna stay here that whole time.
for now at least.
Okay. So when it comes time to leave here, can we then move her to one of the bedrooms?
Possibly.
Considering that we're going to be.
You can see Kneecap is really thinking, uh, like there's some sort of conflict on, uh, you know, about about you know things going on in his head. Give me, give me
I'll
night.
give you some time to think. After
Give-
all,
give-
we're
give
not leaving the castle anytime right away.
your preparations to make.
Yes.
You also have a really big suit of armor filled with the remains of whatever Aloysius was, not to mention a couple of dead hags still on the premises.
Yeah, let's
Clean
definitely
things up.
clean things up, deal with the hags.
See if they had any possessions worth taking,
Yeah.
but remove them all from the premises, especially the thing that was Aloysius.
The hags both had like everything they have seems to be like rotting away at some accelerated pace. It doesn't seem like they're going to be leaving anything behind, in terms of usefulness. They have a lot of really gross things in their pockets. I think, I don't know how thoroughly you check all of them after the first one seems to have a bunch of.
No, it's diminishing returns.
Yeah. So, as for Aloysius, the armor itself seems more or less intact. It's been beaten up a little bit from the fighting, but seems like it could potentially be salvaged. However, you would have to, get it off of what it's currently on and probably clean it.
Right. And it's also like sized for a large creature.
Yeah, it's mundane, but it's also too big for any of you to wear. It
Wait,
won't
well,
auto size.
still might be able to sell it or something.
I mean, we could really pad up the helmet and do the dark helmet thing from Spaceballs.
I might be the best person for that role.
Or you do the just like 3 kobolds in a trench coat. You do
3 humans in a flesh column
3
suit.
yeah.
Oh,
And Kneecap will basically remove the armor from whatever the body is.
Mhm.
and prestidigitation for all the cleaning because
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
he's just
So-
long enough to toss Aloysius' body off the
Mhm.
side.
Yeah,
the fog.
it's not a pleasant task, but certainly not outside the scope of your abilities. I think that whoever would like to have it in their inventory now can put down a set of plate armor uh, sized for a large creature.
Hmm.
So I currently have you still on the Walking Castle map. Let me know if you would like to move over to the Outlands map.
Oh.
Yeah. Someone should ask yeah, uh, what is Felic doing right now?
I mean, I
Yeah,
think he's helping clean up wherever there's little chores to be done. Helping to like organize and sort through like which books seem to be damaged beyond repair, which ones can maybe be salvaged, and which ones are fine. Doing some sweeping. He'll do whatever you ask, you gather, but he's finding little jobs.
Yeah.
Um,
And if we can get an inventory of what we may need to like try to find replacements for, because well,
Mm.
a full library is a useful one.
Mm-hmm.
and Kneecap will ask Felic about. Do you know how make Castellan work?
Well, I know that there was a command word that Thafir used, and I know that she changed it when we were preparing to defend the castle so that it couldn't be operated without her, but I don't know what she changed it to. I thought maybe I should ask, but then I wondered if she wasn't telling me because she was worried I might be tortured for it.
Indeed.
Which makes sense.
But
We'll,
I
we'll have
know,
to ask her tomorrow.
with a
Once
spell,
speak with Dad. Yes,
yes.
we can speak with Dad. Yes.
Yeah.
And also prepare her body and figure out a way to revive her, if that is her wish, of course.
Yeah.
She may have opinions on that, and we should honor those opinions.
I wonder. I mean, the outer planes and the deities that reside there tend to claim the souls they find aligned with them. I wonder who might claim Thafir's.
That's an excellent question.
I
Don't know
don't
the answer to that.
I don't think she would be bound for any of the lower planes, but then she didn't really talk about her life before very much.
Uh, we'll at least figure out what if she wants us to revive her, even if that takes a little bit of time.
Well, let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
Very well. Thank you.
I just want to say to all of you, I already owed you so much just for helping with the escape from Cursed, and then just being willing to help me in my journey, and then so bravely defending against those hags. I just, you're really heroes. At least that's how I see it.
We may not remember all of our past lives, but we are heroes now. Heroes are what heroes do, not what they remember. Yes, I'm cribbing from Total Recall.
Radius kind of clicks his teeth and he's like, the next time I get an inclination to kill something, I'm going to kill it.
Killing my previous self may have led us down a different path for certain.
Oh no,
If that's what
not
you're
you.
Oh
saying.
no.
The hag.
Hag.
Oh, I thought you were referring to my bound and captured previous self.
No. No, it would be the hags who get
Definitely the
got
hag.
it. Wait, but I wasn't. For some reason, I wasn't there, so I'm not sure why I'm thinking like that.
Yeah, no.
Timey wimey.
Okay.
Wibbly wobbly.
Yeah, we had no reason to suspect you.
No, the hag played me too well. Our lack of knowledge of each other was a weakness the hags exploited.
And
Yeah,
actually, when you mentioned that I did not uh, have any reason. Yeah, kneecap looks really, really shocked. Really, yeah,
Yeah, no. Yeah,
because he was
kneecap.
suspicious, but
Didn't do it.
but we thought it was just another version
yeah.
because we've got this weird thing going on.
Mhm.
And
I
since
don't
we keep,
I don't think any conversation we had had with you before would have made the difference after.
Yeah.
unfortunately. And given how we pop in and out of realities, even if we told each other everything we knew about ourselves right now, it would not apply if a new version of Kneecap showed up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'd be back to square one.
I think we need some other test of, for the lack of a better term, humanity. Like asking some story about a turtle, maybe.
But then that would require all of us to have existed at the point to actually talk about it.
No, I mean just like we get separated, a new version comes back. Ask him about turtles.
Well, yeah,
Turtle's on its back. Why are you letting it be on its back? Why are you so cruel?
It tickles me.
Perhaps
Sorry,
it's
I
no,
thought
no,
that
no,
was
no,
silly.
no. I took your pitch and hit it. Perhaps we should get rest tomorrow. I will prepare the proper spells to properly prepare her body, and then we can speak with her and learn the command words and learn what she wishes. Agreed?
Yes.
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 Given that we are grounded, I think we should keep watches.
Yeah.
Affirmative.
Yeah. Kneecap is basically once everybody's sitting down or settling down for the night. Kneecap is sitting in front of the body, um, and just not gonna move.
And I am going to do my usual um like song of rest thing so that as we chill and such we can at least heal and additionally and
Mhm.
not have to worry about
Mhm.
wait, I think I'm one of the few who actually got hit pretty bad.
How
Wait.
how far are we from the nearest place, or can we not see?
Well, right now, if you're literally just looking out the window, you really can't see much of anything. But you know
Yeah.
that when you got here, you had tracked the back to the forest outside Sylvania where the hag's hut had been. So that is the general place. I can put you on the map once again
Okay.
Yeah.
in the Outlands poster map. So the up in the the 1 o'clock segment, kind of in between Faunel and Sylvania is where you're currently in the forest. But as I mentioned, right now it's thick fog outside, so you can't really see much of anything directly.
Do you think we could find? Do you think we could find someone in 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 Faunal that might have the ability to revive her?
We can ask, but I think it's unlikely given the newness of Faunal and the relative small population. I think we're better off going towards a larger gate town for that.
Which would there's
Back
Sylvania.
to Sylvania or ahead to Ecstasy or Trade Gate.
Yeah.
The remaining gate towns on your list to visit are Excelsior, Automata, and Rigus.
And Excelsior was, I believe, the one that we had planned on visiting next.
That is also where Felic is going.
Right.
Right. So that's, I think, should be our next um
But
destination.
yeah, but
But we can't do that
mhm,
until tomorrow anyways.
mhm,
Right.
right. So I think you wisely set watches, but I'm not going to have you do rolls because I think the night the night passes calmly. Those of you on watch note that the thick fog does not lift, and it's quiet. Maybe too quiet.
Too quiet. Yeah, kind of thought that would be happening.
At the very least, it is strangely quiet.
Yeah, and the people who are on watch hear an odd song. Not well, kind of a
Dir- Dirge?
cross between a song and a chant coming from Kneecap, and it is in his strange language, uh, so it's hard to understand if.
Yeah, I don't speak Gnomish, so I don't get. I can
Yeah.
only listen to the cadence. I only have to rest for 4 hours, so I will definitely keep a watch, and I guess I will spend some time getting my spells ready. And other than that, I can spend time with Kneecap and let him do what he must. Keep him company. Here's a question, GM.
Mm-hmm.
Can Gentle Repose be cast multiple times to extend the duration for a raised spell?
I mean, I believe
believe
so.
so.
Yeah,
The spell does not say one way or the other. I was
I
thinking
don't
about
think there's
travel
any
time.
reason why you couldn't. It's like the whole intent of it is to preserve a body in exactly the way that you're doing here. So,
Because the last 10 days, if I cast it every 9 days, then I could
mhm.
keep. Because I was just thinking, although I was thinking the closer gate towns, because, we have a time limit of 10 days, or do we?
Right.
Well, you would have a time limit of 10 days without gentle repose because that is how long it takes. That's the limit for raised dead. The point of gentle repose is to press pause on that limit.
Right.
Right, and it lasts 10 days, so it basically gives
Mhm.
you 10 days grace. So
Yeah.
if I keep hitting the gentle repose button, we
Yes,
can
you
keep
can
them
you can recast it if necessary.
Okay, that's what I was wondering about. Which gate town do we go to? Do we have to make a bed elemental rush for one? But so yes, in the morning I will cast gentle repose, and then once everybody's up and ready, then I will cast
Yeah.
speak with dead, so we can speak with say there.
Okay. So where do you have her set up? You have her still laid out in front of the
Yeah, I don't think we
sarcophagus,
need.
or did
I don't think we need to
did
move
you
it.
end up moving her up to the bed?
Not yet. Not until not until business is done. I'm going to
Mhm.
respect Kneecap's wishes in that regard.
Mhm.
So we'll gentle repose is cast there, and speak with dead will be
Okay.
cast there as well.
All right. So I think as you, there's no obvious visible change beyond the expression of magic with the gentle repose. But then when you cast Speak with Dead, there is sort of a hushed whisper of breath that seems to flow into her from your spell. Her eyes open but glow with a unnatural green.
So we get 5 questions. So would you like to take lead on this? I look at you.
There's a part of me that wanted to have They Fear answer that and have it be one of your questions, but I'm not going to do that.
That's hilarious.
I think the first question should be, do you wish to be revived?
Kneecap asked it, so there's our first question.
Yes, there is much left to see, and I wish to know the outcome of your journey.
Okay.
What is the word for the Castellan?
It is actually not a specific word, but simply a polite request from a friend.
Okay.
Are we friends?
It's-
I felt that we were.
Okay. Um,
Gives us 2 more questions. If we have anything of pressing business, anyone?
Well, maybe someone should ask. I don't know if Kneecap would think of it, but like, yeah, does she know anybody who can revive her?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
yeah, that's a good question.
Do you know if someone who can revive you?
Any of the larger gate towns will likely have a temple, but some will charge or ask for a favor. Others may do it simply out of their own generosity.
Reasonable.
Do you have a preference?
That's the last question. You
Like,
asked
like-
that.
do you have a deity preference?
Oh, that's a good question.
I worship no deity, but respect the divine field.
That's the end
Okay.
of the question. So she's going to go back to
She's gonna
Yeah.
go back to
essence.
The eyes once again close and the body settles as the conjured breath leaves her lungs.
All right.
And as she lays there now, except for having been beat up pretty badly, she looks very still and peaceful.
Now we'll take her to a bed.
Okay.
I think Kneecap and I can handle that.
Right.
You realize that none of the beds seem to be hers. You don't think she used one.
No, but we're going to put her in a bed anyway. First time for everything. She's a Githzerai, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, so, so yeah, meditating monk.
Yeah, she had a little meditation chamber, and I think that she, she would rest there in kind of a meditative pose, is what she did before.
Tarsus can appreciate that, obviously.
Alrighty.
All right.
So who wants to try to ask the castle?
I believe it should be somebody with persuasion skills.
I kind of set it on fire, so I'm gonna.
yeah, well,
How about
you
like
set it on fire. I tried to put the fire out. I'll try.
I'm just suddenly thinking of an exchange from Invader Zim, which is not really related, except that it made me think of it, which is just he's being read the riot act by his bosses, the Almighty Tallest, and they're saying, let's see, I'm trying to. He's making excuses, and he says, "I put the fires out," and they said, "You made them worse," and he goes, "Worse or better?" Anyway.
So yeah, I'll try the asking thing.
Okay.
And where are we heading to next? Who
Excelsior.
else?
Excelsior.
All right.
There may be interesting things those other 2 towns, but Excelsior is the next place
big
to be.
one and right.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of
Oh,
want.
we
Oh,
who has the device?
which
So
device?
I think, yeah, with the mosaic mimir is what Malleus has been carrying, and I think that you realize that one of you that you all can decide now actually has it and is attuned to it.
No one's gonna pick say
In the
no.
absence of anyone else, I will.
I was about to say
allow.
that myself, but you beat me to it. You get it, Cosmo.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention my reality has been a little unreliable lately, so might not be the best person for it.
Okay.
All right.
Right. So you go back up to the room where there's this enormous statue presiding over what has previously shown an illusory map of the Outlands, but it is currently dark and the statue has its head held low.
Um, Greetings, friend. I have a favor to ask of you. Would you take us to Excelsior?
Make a persuasion check.
Oh,
Oh my lord.
Well, okay, okay.
That's as close as I could get to rolling a 1.
Yeah, so that's a relatively low roll, but because you have a high
For me.
modifier, that is still a 10.
Still.
And I think the statue's eyes open and it looks up. It's clearly awake and listening, but it doesn't do anything else yet.
Okay.
Castellan, our friend, would you please bring us to Excelsior?
Go on. You want to make another persuasion check?
14.
I think that is everybody else there, or who else? Who else
Yeah,
is in the room?
Yeah.
No,
I'm here.
we're keeping Radius out.
Kneecap is there.
yeah, I think we're all here except Radius.
Mhm.
Radius the fireballer.
Um, the map illuminates, although I think it's notably a little bit more dim and muted in color compared to before.
Mm-hmm.
But you do feel the castle beginning to stand up. As the castle reaches its standing height, you had been still enveloped in this incredibly thick fog, but at the higher elevation, you can see through it a little bit as you're above that densest layer.
Mm-hmm.
But as you rise above that layer and look out the windows and look spireward, the spire looks broken. Like something
What?
broke it in
What?
half and it is missing the top.
How about the city? Is the city still there, or
I mean, you could barely see the city at the top of it before, but now there's just there's nothing above halfway up. It looks shattered.
Oh.
what in the
Oh.
world?
Oh no.
That sounds like a problem with a capital P that rhymes with. Oh wait, different song.
While you're all having that reaction, the castle does begin to walk through the forest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Alrighty then.
we
if
we
that
may have
yeah.
slipped realities, but whether we slipped realities or our reality is, or if this has happened in our reality, we have to deal with the consequences now.
I think with that realization, Kneecap is going to find a spot to be on lookout because there's obviously something that has some bad
Mm-hmm.
things going on.
Yeah. All right, so I think you start on your way. You weren't planning to stop anywhere in particular, so I think it's at least right now seems to be doing a more or less just straight line.
Okay.
And it's
Yeah.
you've been walking, and nothing has changed. You still really haven't seen any sight or sound of anything else other than yourselves on the castle for several hours of this at this point. But we've got Kneecap on lookout. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
23.
That's pretty good. After it's hard doing this lookout because you really can't see very much. The fog is still very thick. It makes it almost impossible to see anything about where the castle is stepping, for one. And then above that layer of fog, it's almost like being at sea because you really can't, you can only sort of glimpse whatever is tall enough to kind of penetrate this layer of fog, and everything seems really muted and quiet. But I think you hear first in the distance, you've been hearing the sort of thudding steps of the enormous feet of your walking castle. And so it takes you a moment to realize you think you're hearing those, but also another set. Not
This
on
isn't the only walking castle.
you're not on, you don't hear them on, like, you don't see anything on the side that you're on, but you feel like you hear another similar set of the same kinds of walking castle foot sounds
Is
off to
it
another end.
matching?
No,
Like,
it's not like
that-
literally step for step. It's like that's the only reason you kind of noticed is that it's the same kind of
Okay.
sound. And because your walking castle has like 6 little feet that are going
yeah.
right? So it took you a little bit to realize that there is at some distance another set of steps.
And Kneecap will run up to the highest point, highest window you can find, and try and look out for that. See if there's something else he can see, like
Okay.
another thing poking out of the fog.
All right. I mean, so you can certainly run around to the other end. Are you letting anybody else know, or is
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, he'd probably call out like something else out there.
I think as you run around to the other side, you see at some distance, it's a little hard to make it out, but it does look like another walking castle. You are not close enough to get a very detailed look, but it's clearly another object of similar size that seems to be moving in a similar way. And it's not going entirely parallel to you. It's kind of on it's on a divergent path, meaning it's not coming to intercept you, but you see it in the distance.
So it's moving away.
Well, it's not moving directly away. It's kind of alongside,
yeah,
but at a different angle where you're diverging.
Yeah. I mean, like, if both go on the same path, they will separate.
Yes, correct. And so, what was everybody else doing during these quiet traveling hours?
If the probably trying to help Cora reconstruct the library as best we can from the damage and trying to
I'm
see
sure
what-
there's plenty
Yeah.
of cleanup that needs doing
Oh,
all
yeah.
over the
Mhm.
place.
Cleaning up, working on the library.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'll say as far as the damage to the library is concerned is that the DC is now higher for the investigation checks that you've
Yeah.
been making. You still make them in more or less the same way, but the DC is higher now.
Okay.
As far as like what level of information you can get. But so I think all of you, whoever would respond to Kneecap's Cry can go out and see the same thing, that there does seem to be another walking castle out there in the fog. And
Go.
it's the first sign of activity from anyone other than yourselves that you've seen all day.
I'll go to one of the others and be like, can communicate distance?
I don't think I have anything that would be useful for that. Not for a stranger, fortunately.
Well, does the castle have a form of communication? Maybe
No.
if there's another one of these, they can talk in some way. I'm not really familiar with this kind of technology.
We weren't told about any.
And, Kneecap will go up to the Castellan and say, can you speak with other Castellan?
It does not say anything. It doesn't talk.
Okay. Well, I was like, looking. Yeah.
You ask it
figure
a
it out.
question and it does not answer because it does not speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't nod or anything.
No.
So, okay.
But absent any direction, it is continuing on the same path that it has been, and the other one is getting further away.
Okay.
Kneecap would like to look around and see if he can find something that might be communication. If
So, okay, I suggest asking the
we wanna
Castellan to go
communicate, we
closer.
stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
Oh,
right now like a mile away
Okay, I will go to
and
the
getting
Castellan.
further away. So, like, I'm just saying, there's not
Yep.
a telephone.
Okay, I'm going to ask the Castellan
Alright.
to change course to intercept
Okay.
the nearby castle.
All right. You
Or try to.
feel a little bit of a shift as the castle does begin walking in that direction without any kind of a word, because it does not
Yeah.
talk. But as you are now making your way in that direction and getting closer, who is actually out there, like, still watching it?
I think Kneecap would go back out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you just watching through, like, you can watch through the windows of the upper levels, or you can be, like, out on that outside mezzanine?
I'll be
I
on
think
the mezzanine.
I think he would go back down to the mezzanine.
Okay. So here's what you see as you start getting closer. At first, you start to have a suspicion, but as you get closer and closer, it becomes all the more clear that this is not just another walking castle. It looks like yours does, except that the tower is crushed, and it looks as though it has been through a severe battle. And in fact, you notice that it's walking crooked because one of the legs is dragging.
I have I'm not looking, but Persis has a bad out of character feeling about this.
Can we?
And I think you are getting close enough that you can just start to see that maybe there are humanoid figures standing on the mezzanine of that one in the same way that you are of this one. But just as you start to think, like, can you tell who it is? All of a sudden you feel this reality splintering again. And then all of a sudden your eyes are dazzled because it's a bright sunny day again. And there's no sign of that other walking castle.
And what do you want to bet the spire is still there?
It is.
Yeah. So we were in a very liminal, strange reality glitch.
Yeah.
Think of it as a premonition.
If we don't do what we are asked to do, yes. Or
Oh
something.
yeah.
Right.
Oh,
If I had a heart, I would be disturbed. As it is, I am concerned.
Kneecap is disturbed.
So right now, those of you who've been monitoring the progress of your travels would certainly see that there are a couple of landmarks on the map, the Flowering Hills and Wonderhome, that are more or less on the way as you travel towards Excelsior. And it is up to your discretion to decide whether or not you are um, uh, stopping, not stopping, going around, going straight through, however you want to handle it.
I would like to.
Um, go ahead.
Find out more.
Yeah, I would like to look up information
Yeah.
on flowering.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. So, hang on. Let me get my. So first, you can make an investigation check, but let me remind myself what the. Um,
DC.
The new DCs are.
yeah. Yeah. Uh, let's see. The library. Yeah. Um, well, go ahead and you know what? Actually, here's what it just is that the previous rule was a character who spends 1 hour researching the outer planes can make an intelligence check with advantage for the knowledge. I think it is no longer with advantage, and it takes 2 hours. That
Okay.
is for one
Okay.
character. So if
Okay.
you wanted to double it up, you could potentially do that. But it's just it takes longer, and it's a little bit more chancy whether you
Yeah.
get what you're looking for or not.
I'll also do the research too.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So you can either each roll, or you can have one person roll with advantage.
I'll roll.
What's your um
I'm pretty smart.
modifier?
I have a +6.
Oh, okay. Yes, you're pretty smart. You roll with advantage because I'm
Okay.
only a +2.
Okay. Well, look at that. So
Baker's
that's
20.
Oh,
that's
A baker's 20.
Baker's 20. So I think that is enough to certainly give you the basics here. You discover that Flowering Hill is the divine realm of Sheila Perry Royal, who is the halfling god of agriculture. And it is known for vibrant wildflowers, kaleidoscopic orchards, and just generally being heaven for halflings.
Hmm.
It is, not a big urban center. It's a lot of, quiet farms, but it is quaint, fertile, lots of harvests, feasts, all that good stuff. But it is odd. It is unlike some of the other outer planes. It is actually the place where that god lives.
We may not want
Huh.
to transfer it.
Yes,
yeah,
let's divert it.
definitely.
In fact, I'm
What?
going to ask once I find out this information
Yeah.
from Cora and Radius. I'm going to ask the Castellan to skirt Flowering Hill on in a counterclockwise fashion, so as we don't tramp right through the goddess's domain and get a halfling goddess of agriculture pissed at us.
Yeah.
Not in
Now-
favor.
My thought was like, I wonder if they could help
Yeah.
revive it here.
That
But
I mean, if a deity lives there, that they might have some big mojo.
Mm, that's quite possible.
Though
Although now I'm trying to remember. So, um, they made reference. They said they didn't follow any particular god, but they had an
Affinity for-
appreciation.
Basically-
She respected the divine field, is what she said.
That's a very
Divine
Gitzer,
field.
very Gitzerai saying.
Okay.
so
Xenophon was
Basically,
said
like-
something similar if you'd ask him.
she, if I understand, she doesn't have a particular god, but like,
Well, I think
I'm
you
not
have.
sure what divine field would be.
Well, previous conversations with her, I think you would have the general impression that she is not religious, but you would have to be a fool to not respect that gods exist and have power and can grant power to others. That's
Yeah.
that
Like-
is a fact, even if you don't choose to dedicate your life to one of them.
In
Yeah,
our
she would skirt the flowering hill out of respect for the god, for the goddess.
Well,
Right.
I think she would say
If
it would be
nothing else.
foolish to risk angering a god for no reason.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So do we do also in our research, do we know if it's like an benign god or if it
Oh yeah. It's definitely one of the good aligned gods. You are
Okay.
in the region of the Outlands that connects to what is known as the upper planes, which tend to be the nicer ones.
Okay.
Now, of
Well-
course, all the way around the wheel here is there's a whole spectrum, right? So they vary in their flavor, but you are certainly in the nicer part for good aligned creatures.
Okay. Well, it couldn't hurt to ask.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how getting an audience with a god works.
Well, ask if there's a temple that could help.
Do I know do I need to make another check to see if I know how they worship her?
Well, she's the goddess of agriculture and fertility.
And it's halflings we're talking about. You can pretty much imagine what that involves.
Right.
Big families. Big families.
Yep. Well, might as well. We're out here. Might as well.
Oh, we all
Yes.
agreed then? This is what we want to do?
Do we want to do what?
But
Wanna visit?
So yeah, stop here and see if we can get help for the Castellan here.
Okay.
Rather than continuing on to Excelsior. I mean, I can keep casting Gentle Repose.
I
Yeah.
think we've got as good a shot here as anywhere else.
All right.
so-
Yeah.
yeah,
So I will,
particularly with a good aligned god right here.
yeah, I will direct the Castellan to stop just on the edge of Flowering Hill so we don't trespass the
Mhm.
castle inside the boundaries. And
Okay.
um
And no trampling on any flowers.
one of us is going to have to stay here. Because we don't have the Castellan to manipulate the castle.
I mean, Felix can.
Mm.
Theoretically, yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also Felix is not really in a position to be able to defend it if anything happens.
Right. All right. So
Right.
I'll say you can work out. Because we
Okay.
need someone to best persuade. I'm Cora and Cuspid are the best, much better persuaders than I am. So
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm not.
Kneecap will carry Zathier. Wrapped up
Okay.
wrapped up respectfully.
Cora,
I think that is a remarkable sight, just because you've got a medium size Gith wrapped up, being carried by
I think,
a gnome.
I think he would set up basically like a almost like a stretcher
Mhm.
kind of thing. So like the body's not dragging.
There's
a travois?
there is a mission in the video game Death Stranding, which is all about being a courier various places on foot and trying to bring a lot of cargo. And there is a scene where you are in fact transporting a dead body, and it is wrapped up in a little body bag in kind of a seated position, back to back, like he has a backpack that's like a little chair, and it's strapped in that position, like in a seated position, so that the center
We've
of
got
mass
chairs.
is as similar as possible.
I
We've got
mean,
chairs.
that- yeah, modify a chair so that the body is sitting on it and
Hmm.
just strapped backpack style over kneecap,
Yeah.
No,
which really odd, but obviously hopefully seen as a respectful carry.
Hmm. All right. So I think, first of all, even as even though you stopped well short of anything that looked like it would be uh, unlucky to trample.
Mm-hmm.
It is gorgeous here. Everything is just extremely lush and vibrant, and you're already seeing just wildflowers everywhere. And laid out below you, you see these really elaborate forests and orchards and farms, almost like something out of Doctor Who. Or not Doctor Who, but Dr. Seuss is what I mean.
Doctor Who is shaking.
It
Yeah.
could also
You
be
could
Doctor
have a-
Who, but
you
then
could-
we have to get ready to
Right.
run.
But the point is that there's a lot of stuff that doesn't, it looks like it would be impossible in the normal world because it's just very elaborate but bright and colorful and just sort of impossibly perfect farms and orchards. And you see there is what looks like maybe sort of a small town community center, the sort of like um, Main Street with two stoplights sort of size. Um, and, down there, and there's various structures, but also you gather that there's a lot of places, as it is a halfling place, there might be a lot of homes that are underground.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I think as you get a little closer in, you will here and there see halflings, working the orchards or overseeing the fields.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it not.
I think that there's, as you are passing through, there's a couple of like, okay, all right. Hey, get a little of that. Oh, look at them.
So, which one of you speaks Gnomish?
Well, halfling.
It's
Or
I don't
Halfling.
almost.
Wow.
I mean,
Common is common
and
generally.
yeah. I'll approach one of the more friendly looking halflings
Mm-hmm.
and say, we are. What was the name of the goddess, by the way?
Sheila Periroyal.
Sheila Perry.
Mm-hmm.
We are seeking a boon from Lady Perry Royal. Do you know where we can submit that?
Oh, I suppose you probably want to go down to the community center. I mean, I don't know that Lady Perry Royal is just open for business for strangers, but you can certainly talk to a priest down there. You can.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well,
Blessings upon you.
good luck to you. You seem like a nice group of folks. So I tell you,
Mhm.
we're not necessarily here. We've got a lot here. We're not looking for things like gold or diamonds and the like. But you might think what sort of uh, tale you might have to offer, because we do like our gossip.
Aha. We might very
Yeah,
well be
I'm
able to
working on
provide that.
that.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good luck to you.
Oh.
Out of
They
character,
wave, and
I
as
actually out of character, I do have a document open that I've started working on called the Saga of the Skeleton Crew.
Nice.
nice.
So
Yeah, I like as you're walking away there, the one that you just talked to kind of goes over to one of the other ones in the field, and they're smiling, but they're also whispering to each other lower than you
Yeah.
can
Yeah, sure. You betcha.
hear.
Oh yeah. by the time we get to the community center,
They'll
there
know
will
the story.
a dozen people that know us. Know
yeah,
us.
everyone will know that we're
Yeah,
on
I,
the way.
I think by the time you've made it down to the little road there where you're walking up to like the one like really obvious sort of central building that you'd guess is like a town hall sort of place, you've got like a crowd of halfling children following you, and various other halflings who have definitely decided that this is more interesting than whatever they were doing, so they're kind of following along at a curious but respectful distance. You know, you get the
Mhm.
impression like they're watching you partly on the basis of you haven't done anything threatening, so they're genuinely interested in welcoming. But also, if you were gonna do something threatening, they would want to know about it right away,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So there's that piece of it too. Is like they're friendly and curious, but also watching you carefully.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
And
yeah, they're also not keeping their crowd of little tiny halfling children from following you around, though.
right, right. Okay. Well, we will. We
Fireworks,
will.
Gandalf! Fireworks!
Mhm. They
No,
are
Radius,
very
no.
cute. Are you making faces at the halfling children?
Huh?
You were just you were just doing
No, I
stuff.
was like, I thinking of the scene that you're.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, the scene I invoked, yes.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
uh,
But yeah,
so yeah,
kneecap
we.
is. Uh,
Yeah.
it's being very,
Yeah.
very.
I was gonna say, because it's one thing for you to be strangers, but it's also strangers who are very clearly carrying what looks like a dead person.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think you make it to this, this community center, and like coming out to greet you on the little sort of like front porch balcony of this place is a halfling who is has got uh, long, like luxurious golden curly hair that's like down to her waist, and some very fancy robes, and she just says, "Welcome, strangers, to the Flowering Hill. Now, can you tell me a little bit about why you've come?"
Uh,
We have
great.
suffered a loss among our number, and she is an important member of a mission that is of potentially uh, world-breaking importance. We would love to tell you our story and hope that you can help us return her to life. If there's any place that would be possible, it seems like here is the foremost.
Well, let's have you bring your friend around back on that side. We can take a
Mhm.
look and see what maybe can be done. And
Mostly that isn't all dead.
Yeah.
I mean, you look like y'all have been around. You probably are aware that there are different kinds of dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, we'll take a look, and uh, we can talk about uh, where y'all came from and what your next steps are and so on. But bring her all on around there, and we'll have a look.
All right. So we'll do that.
Yeah. So the other piece of this that's important to keep in mind as you've been walking through this small town is that it is in fact a halfling small town. All of
Yeah.
the buildings
Our
are
scale for
halfling
halflings.
size. Yes.
Yes.
And so the doorways are around 4 feet high.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only
Yeah.
one that Gandalf could fit into was the palatial estate of Bilbo
Mhm.
Baggins.
Yeah.
Palatial
Mm-hmm,
estate.
mm-hmm,
I mean, he was a gentleman. He was a wealthy man
mm-hmm.
in
And
his time.
He
and
was a
he
retired
was
adventurer.
Yep.
Yep.
and he well, don't talk about the adventure part. Not respectable for hobbits,
Mm-hmm.
but he had reached the ripe old age of 1111. I mean 11-1.
11D1.
11D1.
11 yeah.
11-1.
Yes. But in any case,
Anyway.
um,
Kneecap is feeling just at home.
In any case,
What?
you do go around that back side, and they do have kind of a like there's a little bit of a barn door set up there, where it doesn't look like a barn, but they do clearly have like a larger door that is meant to bring bigger things inside the building in that
Ah,
wing.
okay.
And so as you come around on that end, those doors are being rolled open, and there is sort of a neat little like workshop, almost like I don't know that your characters would recognize this term, but it's almost more like a garage. It's
Mhm.
tidy but homey. It's got lots of stuff in it, right? It's not spare and sparse, but it
Mhm.
is tidy, and it's not cluttered. It's just that everything in its place takes up all the places that anything could be in. But a lot of those things seem to be like herbs drying, various sort of alchemical processes and paraphernalia going on.
Hmm.
What looks very much like some kind of a still, um,
Mm-hmm.
that seems to be in the middle of making a batch of something, and um, a couple of big kegs being stacked, and there is one long table that is currently being prepared with a leather covering, like they're placing the leather covering over it, and it is a table big enough to lay out Thafir's body on. And the
We
table is only 3 feet high.
we do that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So as you, um, uh, so this halfling woman comes around and just says, "It's like, so my name is Evelyn Greenbottle. I'm going to have you bring them in, and we're going to close the doors here. I just figured this sort of business can be sensitive, and we might want to at least briefly, uh, have the looky loos take a break
Yes.
while we talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look here." And she's like, "Oh my, it's been a while since I've seen a." And she gets her eye, yeah. Okay, and she's kind of inspecting, kind of looking at the wounds, and just saying, "So what happened to her, if I may ask?"
Oh,
Our
We were attacked by hags.
Oh dear.
well, yes.
oh.
Uh,
So someone probably may have mentioned there's this big walking castle that's kind of on the outskirts, and um, she was uh, kind of in charge of it and its guide, and she was helping us with this large to do that we have found ourselves in. But yeah, while we were completing one of our tasks, a group of hags tried to move in, and she was the unfortunate um, victim of their desires.
It can be dangerous out there in the Outlands. I know that's true. I see that you've already expended a little bit of divine magic on preserving her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're still getting to know each other, but we feel responsible. She shouldn't have suffered because of us.
Hmm.
At some point, just kind of like a wise older sister, but that stays at home while we do the crazy things, and the crazy came for her instead. Out of character. Family. big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Pull that in.
Sure. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
That's better.
That's an 18. And she just listens to all of that. She's been inspecting Thafir's body and just looking around at all of you and just says, "So, this is I hope y'all realize this. This is fortunately for her. It is something we can help with. But this is she's been gone longer than your standard revivify. She's going to need some recovery time coming back. Are you all in a position where you're going to be able to help her with that?"
Yes.
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 Well, I can tell y'all care about her a great deal, and I'll tell you what. I'm going to help you. This is something that I feel confident that Sheila Perrioil would approve of here. Now, this is not like a requirement. This is not a price I'm asking you for. But generally around these parts, when one of us seeks a favor from the gods or just from any of us, we look for things like chorin and gifts as a way to build community. And it's not like a cost.
Mhm.
It's like a thank you. And I'm not going to tell you you owe anything. All right? I'm going to do this for you. But whatever you feel like you want to offer our little community as a thank you, I'm sure would be warmly received.
I definitely am thinking about that sort of thing. But
Do
Um,
you,
Well, this is happening. Kneecap is wondering, is Evelyn Greenbottle a physical representation of Sheila? Of the
An
goddess?
avatar?
we can speculate that later. We're not going to pry now. That's
Well,
bad
I'm not gonna
manners.
ask. I'm not gonna
Uh,
ask.
I also see speculation in the chat about the fact that my two halflings who have spoken don't have the same accent. I know. It's not accidental. Halflings live here from all over places, different places where halflings come from.
Ah, you betcha.
Radius will ask, do you have a archive or collection of, say, your magics or any sort of thing? I'm a gifted scribe. Also, I can assist with any farming or that sort of work.
Well, how about this? It's going to take me a little bit to get ready for this anyway, maybe like an hour. So if y'all are comfortable leaving her here with me for right now, I'll get everything ready for the spell. And if you want to just explore a little bit and uh, think about how you want to spend that time, and then maybe the night, uh, I'll get things ready here.
I'm going to go find either the closest tavern or the closest bards and start swapping stories. Because what better way to build community than swapping culture and stories?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
What I'll
That's
also
what would a bard say?
what I'll also say, just like, she was doing her best to kind of not say I'm going to charge you for this spell, right? But I think you also, the clerics in your party would probably recognize that
That
just to cast this spell requires something on the order of 500
is
gold worth of components.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it's like definitely
So-
contribute money, but also it's
Yeah.
not just a
Yeah,
monetary cost.
it sounds like it's a sort of sliding barter scale sort of deal
Well,
here.
Yeah.
we are easily able to afford that.
Hmm.
And what I was going to propose to the party was that I wanted to make some purchases of shelf stable, but nevertheless high quality stuff that we could use for Heroes Brunch spells.
Mhm.
Because we don't have now, but that being said, it occurs to me that not only will Gentle Repose keep a humanoid body available for resurrection, but it will also preserve a side of beef so that it doesn't go bad while it's sitting in your kitchen. So,
Oh my God, I may turn it to your grocer.
well, this place does,
Refrigeration unit.
the castle does not have
Refrigeration.
a pantry that already is enchanted with this spell.
No,
So
it's hilarious.
therefore,
It's brilliant, but it's hilarious.
I was going to
Yeah.
see if there
I,
was a butcher here.
I'm going to suggest that there are other magical means of preserving food and the like, along with all of the non-magical ways that humans have
Yes.
always done it.
Yes.
But
So-
that Gentle Repose is specifically a spell that you probably would not want to do on something you're planning to eat later.
Oh,
okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, in any case, I'm gonna go looking for some tomatoes and nice crispy bacon. I'm gonna look
Oh, yeah.
for red meat off the bone. I'm going to look for
Red
all
meat
the
off the
things.
bone, that's the dwarves.
Yeah.
But you know they've got a thriving preserves community here.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. So
They're
I'm going to
pickles,
yes.
pickles for days.
Yes.
And yeah, so and they do have livestock too, but it is, you know, goddess of
Yeah.
agriculture, so it's, you know,
Yes.
it's like, it seems like they're mostly in the fruits and veggies and grains and that sort of thing here, but you know, that's there's
And
sort
I'm
of-
sure that
Cheese.
that a
There's lots of cheese.
and I'm sure that there's a pony keg of quite nice ale
oh yeah.
to be purchased. So
Mhm.
I am going to um, uh, uh, spread the filthy lucre around um, to buy just I'm going to spend kind of the day while we're waiting here.
Mhm.
Um,
If I may suggest, I'm
Mhm.
not going to be tracking literal days of rations here.
no,
But what
no.
I'll suggest here is that, you know, the cost of a standard ration in the equipment table is for ordinary food. If you
Oh, no,
imagine
yeah,
you're
yeah.
getting nice food, then
Yes.
you know, consider paying more.
Oh,
But also,
yes.
I think as you gather here, that like they don't have like a price table on any of the
No.
stores
Mhm.
here. It seems
Which is-
like yeah, this is a
Yeah.
everyone here in this community might bicker and have their own feuds, but nobody's trying to rip anybody off.
Yeah. But the point is that the components for the hero's brunch spell cost 100 gold.
Yeah.
So I would like to spend enough for 2 castings.
Okay.
And kind of like, but as part of like kind of an unspoken understanding
Hmm.
that I'm going to overpay for it as a means of kind
Mhm.
of giving back for the favor that's being done.
Sure. Sure.
So I'm
Um,
actually, yeah.
I think that you certainly, as you are, you know, racking up these elaborate orders, I think you gather that it's also the sort of place where people don't like food is always plentiful, and so people don't necessarily always buy a lot at a time, right?
Yeah.
Because it's always just kind of like it's a much more common thing of like you go down and get what you might need for a couple of days but
Mhm,
you don't
mhm.
stock up in the same way. And so I
Right.
think that there is, as you are racking up these big orders and getting all of the fanciest stuff, I think you are drawing an appreciative crowd that is cheering every time some new package of things is set on the pile, and
Yep.
the kids are laughing and playing with like little wooden blocks, like they're seeing how many blocks they can carry at once, and
Yeah, and I'm gonna like ask who the finest teamster in town is to carry that off and like make it like an object of discussion, but then like whoever gets finally elected as the person
Mhm.
who's going to get some largesse from me to haul this all back to the castle.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I'm planning on spending 300 gold on the 200 gold's worth. And I'm kind of giving the eye to my friends to find some other things to do that
Mhm.
Yeah,
like that with.
yeah. Kneecap would like to go find. Basically, he's saying like if there's a field that's being prepared that needs like basically some real strong
Mhm. Some,
labor.
Yeah,
furrowing and
like
digging up rocks out of some
Yeah,
field or other. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
Digging up
uh,
rocks, pulling up stumps,
Mhm.
that kind of.
yeah.
And
Radius will go with
they
him
just
for that as well, or
Okay.
them as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I think as you go looking, especially once you kind of make it clear what you're looking for, there's always plenty of work to be done, and
okay,
so let's get a couple of athletics rolls from each of you,
sure.
Oh,
unless you think you have a better, you want to pitch me a
oh,
different skill.
oh no,
Got a
Radius.
14.
I am a magic user. I will summon construct to do this for me. It is no. I can make a
Okay,
metal one
sure.
or a clay
So you
one.
said
No.
All
They're
right.
bigger.
two, uh, 2
Well, then let's have a strength check from
Wait,
whatever you summoned.
uh,
Yeah, so a 14 from, ooh, look at that, 23. Now, all of a sudden, what we've got between the two of you here is this is a Paul Bunyan versus the Steam thing, right?
It
Or
is.
John
no, it's
Henry.
John Henry. John
No!
Henry.
Henry. Yeah.
So there was a cartoon
Yeah.
where they did like a Paul Bunyan thing like that, but it is John Henry is what I was really thinking of. So
Yeah.
yes.
Uh,
So yeah, Kneecap. Radius's construct just outdid you on that roll.
I mean, if there's a chance to try again, I definitely
Oh
will.
yeah.
But
So I think all the halflings seem very eager with the idea that there's a contest now.
ooh.
okay,
Yeah. So let's actually get three more. So we'll do them one at a time, but let's get three more pairs of rolls from each of you. So for what the first one, let's see how they go.
okay. So, oh,
Okay. That
only a 10.
Okay,
Wow.
well, neat. I think both of you ended up doing not as well as that first time, this time. And so the construct seems. What's this construct look like?
Um, since we're working in a field, I decided to do the metal one. So I made it angular, so it looks kind of like a plow with legs.
Hmm. All right. So I think both of them find that now that they're taking it seriously. Oh wait, actually somehow it is actually really difficult. um,
Hmm.
but let's get the next set of rolls.
A bird of rage for
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, he's pissed.
Okay. Well, that was not as good again for the construct, but let's.
27.
Whoa!
Double 19s.
Yeah, you're getting whistles and hooting from the halfling crowd there. Uh, the construct is turning back to Radius and just kind of like, I'm trying. All right. So I think with that last one, Kneecap made up a lot of ground, but this is the one for who's the winner here.
And yeah, oh, do do another rage if I need to.
Okay. Well, I think the same
Oh,
rage is fine.
22.
Oh my gosh, you tied!
Yeah.
That is perfect, actually. I love the idea that
That's a good
this
story.
furious race to furrow these rows in this field, and you're working so hard, and they finish together, and everyone cheers.
Aw,
Nice.
nice.
I'll go over to the plowmaton, hat on the closest
Plowmaton.
thing it has to its
Mhm.
head, and then boom.
All right. So I think we said that Cora was looking for a tavern, which there definitely
I'm
is
looking
one.
for looking for a tavern. I'm looking for storytellers, and I'm looking to do that good old cultural exchange
Oh, sure.
of drinking and storytelling.
All right. So Tarsus, are you going with her, or do you have something else in mind?
Tarsus is back at the castle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
Tarsus.
Somebody had to watch the castle.
You are right.
Mhm.
I misremembered. Thank you. Okay, so Cora, yeah, I think that you find that there is a lovely little country pub here. It is halfling sized.
No.
So you're having to kind of you know almost get on your hands and knees to go through the doorway, and then kind of hunch over once you're inside. But you see a lot of halflings in there, uh, looking a little wide-eyed at you, like not unhappy, but just like he's like, wow,
Okay.
okay, now what? What's
Uh,
gonna happen next?
I'll start with taking out not the bagpipes because I want the place to remain intact. That might be an outside thing for later, but I've got a set of like panpipes,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll start playing like a jig.
Okay.
Um and because I'm still working on this damn poem. Granted, who knows if it's a saga like a full saga should be,
Mhm.
it won't end until about 5 sessions after we're completely done with this campaign.
Well, sure.
Yeah. But I'll start just with some gentle music just
Okay.
to
Well, if you want to read
start
us a
getting
little bit of the poem, I'll give you advantage on your
Oh, okay.
performance check.
There you
Alright.
there's incentive.
So far I've got 3.5 stanzas, but rough draft, of course.
Sure.
Listen to a tangled web of a band of adventurers from across the multiverse, familiar to each other yet strangers all the same. Different versions were dropped within the walls of Sigil, our past muddled by the broken shards of reality. We travel now throughout the Outlands, having broken from the confines of Curse, on a mission to save the realm from doom uncertain. As one of as one dies in combat or misadventure, we are replaced by another version of ourselves, similar but widely varied in talents and abilities, with memories showing a facet of what could have been and what yet can be. Our paths are still a mystery, whichever state version of us is on the stage now.
Nice. Well, let's see a performance check with advantage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely not the first one. Second one's a 22.
Okay. Nice. They came in a different order here in the Roll20 chat. That's interesting. But yeah, so a 22, big success. I think once you get through like the first verse and chorus, so a halfling on a little fiddle, and then another one who's got a drum, and another one who's got a little pipe, like a little flute, come up. They start accompanying you, and then a lot of the halflings are dancing around. I think you see a couple of conversations from the cheering patrons. One is like, "I don't get the other version thing." He's like, "Oh, it's a metaphor."
Oh.
Okay. So noted.
No. I'm
No. No, so noted.
Yeah.
If I overhear it, I'm going to find a way of putting that in because
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that that is going well, and you seem to the halflings have all kind of like reached the conclusion that you're all pretty fun, and you're doing great here. Um,
And then I ask someone for a story so that I can then uh, share it with others further down the road.
mhm. So I want to cut back then to the castle because Thelic and Tarsus have remained behind. What are you doing while you remain behind, Tarsus?
I'm doing a little reading, doing a little viewing out the window, almost. I mean, he's a warforged, so the word doesn't quite work, but maybe
Hmm.
wistfully looking west towards the flowering hills, wondering what his friends are up to. They haven't come back screaming. There's been no divine smoting, so
Hmm.
things are probably all right. So that's good. And then he goes to the large pile of armor from that we got from Aloysius, and he looks at it and he contemplates it. The player has been contemplating something,
Uh huh.
actually.
Interesting.
The player the question is, would this actually be legit? So there's a spell that Tarsus has called Fabricate.
Hmm.
The question is, OGM, can I take the pieces from this large plate armor
Hmm.
and use Fabricate to create a normal size plate armor cabinet?
I am looking at the spell just to be sure. Um, well, it does say you can't use it to create items that ordinarily require a high degree of craftsmanship, such as jewelry, weapons, glass, or armor, unless you have proficiency with the type of artisan's
But
tools.
I'm a cleric of the
You
forge,
do, so that
so
gives you various features related to that, I think.
I mean there's artisan's blessing. I mean, I don't have the actual tools. I mean,
Well,
unfortunately, our
so
missing party it does have that.
well, no,
So
The
I think,
proficient.
well, you're also outside a place where they might have that stuff. But so you have already the ability to imbue magic into weapons or armor. Let's artisan's blessing.
yes,
Um, oh yeah. Oh, so you have this channel divinity artisan's blessing that is.
yeah. So
So
it can't
yeah.
can't
So
be worth
here's
more
the.
than 100
How about this?
GP. Yeah.
So I think a combination of having that feature plus the fabricate spell, absolutely yes.
Okay. So while my companions are all having fun, Persis is going to make a suit of plate armor for himself.
Nice.
And you're proficient, I guess.
Yes, I'm proficient in heavy armor. Absolutely.
All right. That's so I think what does this new set of plate armor look like?
It is um kind of almost modernist. You're not going to get to see it once he absorbs it into himself, but he's not going to absorb himself to everyone's back. But it's kind of like very what we consider as a modern, almost abstract sort of look. Very clean, very almost severe scan, like Scandinavian furniture done in metal.
Interesting. All right. I think as you complete that sort of magical transformation, and the armor is reshaped in that way, you hear just wow, and you realize Felic has been watching
Oh,
you.
thank you. I was
That's
trying to
I,
say thank you.
I've never seen magic do that before. I mean, obviously magic can do lots of things, but I've never seen anything quite like that. Where'd you
This is
learn to do that?
the god Vulcan.
Ah,
He
I
created me, and he created the ability within me to do this.
so please forgive me if this feels like a weird question or a rude question. I'm still, a little struggling with like how exactly whatever's happening to you works, but if you were made by the god Vulcan, but were the other versions of you also made by that god?
I do not think so.
That's kind of a trip, isn't it?
And if I am gone and a new version of me comes, it likely be created by someone else. Very strange, don't you think?
It is. Like, does that scare you?
It has implications about the nature of my ultimate existence. Seems to be not particularly tied to one particular body or even one particular creator. That has existential questions and implications that I've not yet fully comprehended. I don't know if that's true of the others. I have a suspicion it might be, but I seem to be more obvious about it than the others, perhaps because of my nature, because of my obviously created nature.
Well, so when I was alive, before I was a petitioner, I remember there were lots of times where I was confused by all of that. I always tried to be a good person, and I wasn't really worried about that exactly, but I always sort of vaguely felt like I was supposed to be somewhere, but I didn't know where that was. And so I was always lived my life just feeling like I was doing the best I could without knowing if it was all the right thing or not. But then when I died, ever since then, it I know now. Like I can tell that I belong in Mount Celestia. I just know it. And obviously I didn't go straight there. I still have free will. I can go other places.
And passions and desires, the desire to help your father.
Right. And and yet I know that it's waiting for me, you know? Like it gives me comfort even when I'm not there because I know that's what's waiting for me. But it's so strange to think that we when people are alive, they don't have that. And just thinking of having different versions of yourself like that, I just, I feel like I would have a hard time with it, but all of you seem like you're just rolling with it in a way that I don't know if I would have been able to. I just kind of admire all of you and how well you're bearing up under that very strange circumstance.
It was rather rough at the beginning, not knowing where we were, awakening in a morgue, unsure as who we are, who the others were. It has been a journey to get to this point.
Well,
So the betrayal of the hags particularly hurts because we had coalesced into a unit, and the hags violated that trust by impersonating a
yeah.
version of me. That's why it hurts so much. If it had happened at the beginning, it would not hurt as much as it hurts now, because now we have, if we have not quite yet remembered everything of who and what we were, we still have, we've found the bonds that were already there and started to reknit them. And this is true. This is true as Aether, which is why we're here to
Mhm.
bring her back rather than leaving her to her fate, because we feel
Yeah.
she is important to us and we have that bond.
Well, I've met a lot of people all around the Outlands, and there's a lot of them that even if they were sad about Thayfir, they still would have thought, "Great, now it's our castle." But all of you were just there was no question. Just find a way to bring her back. you know.
Indeed.
Now, obviously, something really, uh, like, I don't think you all are bad or that it's anything's happening to you because you're bad, but it seems like whatever's happening to the all the planes might be bad.
Yes.
Um, I
Right.
I I want to go to Mount Celestia eventually, but like if there's anything I can do to help, just let me know.
If you can stay with us in the castle as long as you like, your company would be welcome. We did, but we will fulfill our promise to your father and to you to get you there. It may just not be by the shortest path. Besides, the shortest path is not necessarily the most interesting one or the most valuable one.
Yeah. But just don't let worry of betrayals like the hags turn you into the people that wouldn't go out of their way to help a friend.
You show wisdom and insight, Philip. I'm proud to call you a friend.
Nice. So, back in the Flowering Hills, it's been long enough that you're kind of called back to this little community center where Evelyn is going to perform the ritual. So I assume you all gather.
Yep.
All right.
Yep,
So
yep.
Evelyn just says, so I would like all of you to gather round. This is not something that is strictly necessary for the magic itself, but if your friend does choose to return to her body as a result of the spell, it can be an exhausting process. And I find that it can be helped by the presence and encouragement of friends during the process. So uh, if you can all join hands, circle around her while I cast the spell, and I'd like each of you in turn to say something about her as I bring her back. And I think that will make the journey easier for her. Right? So her eyes begin to glow gold as she's holding her hands out over Thapir's body. Oh, we don't hear you, Nibilis.
Say a little prayer along the way.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I think this is the point where she was encouraging each of you to say something about her.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the say something is that is an invocation of assistance from
Mm-hmm.
Alessandra.
Okay. Yep.
Right. Kneecap would say, Lekaru wishes for you to return. It seems sad.
And Radius will say, you showed us dedication and bravery, even to this end. And there's no amount we can pay to repay that kindness.
You've allowed this scruffy, sometimes changing band of oh, characters into your home and helped us and are helping us. It, there's That's the most special thing one individual can do for another.
Nice. And I think as the magic begins to sort of permeate into her, the paleness of her green skin begins to, um, to I guess darken sounds wrong,
Deepen?
but deepen. Anyway, she begins to look more healthy in her skin tone, um, and soon there's no suddenness, no startling, but almost as though she had really just been asleep all this time. She takes in a breath, the deep sigh, and when she exhales, she opens her eyes and looks up around at all of you and at Evelyn, who is smiling down at her as the gold in her eyes fades and just
Welcome back.
thank you. Thank you. It was strange. She kind of moves like she's starting to sit up, and Evelyn kind of just puts a hand on her shoulder for a moment, just says, "Go slow,
Take
go
it
slow,
easy.
go slow." And she does kind of sits up. She looks a little wobbly. Mechanically, she is in fact like suffering a -4 penalty to basically any roll she would make right now.
Yeah.
Just that's how that spell works. But she
Yeah.
just says,
Yeah.
is the castle safe, Felix?"
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some damage to the library, but we can work together to replace what was damaged. Side eye at Radius.
Yeah, she winces just a little bit when you say the damage to the library, but then she shakes it off and just says, "If Felix must have told you what happened."
Yeah, Fella filled
Yes.
us in.
I'm just
But
I regret only that we did not detect the deception before they were able to bring reinforcements. But I am in debt to you for the recovery a second time of Ledcaru
no,
from invaders.
no
And
more talk of debts. We're but we're developing to a nice little ragtag band, and you're part of it. Even if you.
she she has a face that's not meant for big toothy smiles.
Aww.
But there is a hint of one as she takes your hand and just holds it in both of hers and squeezes it. Where are we?
Heartstrings.
And I think Evelyn just
Flowering
says,
hill.
oh yeah, the flowering hills. You know,
Hills.
the the magic of Sheila Perry-Royal has helped to bring you back. Stay, and your friends have been just making themselves popular all over town. um, and you know, all of you are welcome. We don't have much in the way of like a standard inn or anything, but we've got some comfy barns you could stay in if you're looking for a place, or if you just. I'm sure that they're in the preparations for a big town feast already. So, if all of you'd like to stay, you're certainly welcome. But also, I know this has been a hard day, so if y'all would be ready to move on back to your own place, that would be okay too, and there wouldn't be any offense taken.
Oh,
You like,
I vote for we stay for the feast, but like,
yeah.
but you wherever you want to rest, we'll figure it out and we'll do a rotation. We have someone back. We have a couple other people back at the castle, so uh, uh, who've been waiting patiently. So we should check in on them and make sure that everyone can uh, enjoy the spirit of this place.
Yeah. Well, Dayfear seems like she is also the kind of person who is in a hurry to be on her own 2 feet, even when she probably shouldn't be in a hurry. But she is moving to stand and wobbles a little bit. I am hungry.
We can do that, and also a lesser restoration snuck in because I do that thing. That should help. I don't think I've got regular restoration, but lesser restoration might
Well,
make her feel better.
It sure doesn't hurt. Mechanically, it just takes a few days of needing to get full long rests to gradually remove it. But yeah, but certainly doesn't
Give
hurt.
her some more. Give her some strength to be able to eat.
Yeah. So I think that as you emerge from this, they open those sort of barn door type doors again. You discover that a whole crowd, hushed, had been gathered outside, and as they see all of you and Thayfir up on her feet, they break into cheers, and many of them are obviously shouting praises for Sheila Perry-Royal and her magic.
Yay!
We brought our
I
friend
would like
back.
I would like to cut away just for a moment
Sure.
to the castle
Mm-hmm.
where a big old wagon is just pulled up
Mm-hmm.
and there's a halfling on it. Says, delivery for the castle down here.
I want everyone to have a mental picture of these. So the archetype of the beefy, handsome farm boy, halfling sized.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep, I will lower. I will ask the castle to lower the castle and take delivery. I'm just boggle at the amount of
Mm-hmm.
stuff that's been bought.
It
Yeah.
reminds me of
So
comic book accurate Wolverine.
would you have? I mean, based on how everything has gone, would you still have them just waiting behind at the castle, or would you have included a note to tell them to come join you?
I think there would be a note to tell them to come join us. There's a big celebration.
But I look it up. But who watches the castle? I will just unload the stuff and
Can the castellan be told to do something at a future moment?
I don't.
Yeah, well, so by and large, like what you know now is that Thayfir is less controlling the Castellan and more like asking it nicely to do things.
Right.
And
So
so
how about
it
tell
does
it to-
have an intelligence.
so tell it to stand up and come back down tomorrow at dawn.
Well, I was about to say maybe we could ask to see if there's like a field or space or something that they'd be okay with having the castle stop at.
I am
castle-
going to suggest that all of you in character come up with a solution to this issue, and it works, and we don't have to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
What I would actually like to move on to more, which I think
Yes.
is more fun than the logistics, is just how about a little montage of moments from the evening's feast?
I think they're that's off.
Yeah, nice.
Oh yeah,
Somebody. Right.
and And I am grabbing the bagpipes for that, and I'm going to stand off just enough so that I don't blow everyone's ears off.
Nice. I think that in a shed somewhere, they drag out a table and a few chairs that are sized for medium creatures, and they call it the Biggs table. And so it is just, it's very much it is near their main feast table. It is obviously a
Yes.
place of honor, but it is a separate, differently sized table.
Yeah.
And they have a little portable set of stairs that lets the servers, step up to put stuff on the table for you.
I figured it would be a kind of a um oh shoot
See, here's what I had in mind.
table where everybody serves themselves.
Like a
Family
buffet.
A buffet.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, but even at a buffet, if you've got honored guests, oftentimes
Mhm.
someone else will go and get the stuff. But
Well,
but
this
that's
is also
here's-
like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
so what I imagine that the table is not actually a table that they have set aside for occasional, but they've repurposed a flatbed wagon
Yep.
and like big crates are set up next to it as seats and no, they're not crate, they're barrels. They're the huge barrels that they would ordinarily roll around for aging liquor and things like that. And those are set up endwise, and it's because I mean these are practical people. They're not going
Well,
to make
but
something they're going to use once in a
I'm
while.
I'm thinking about how when you have Thanksgiving dinner at Grandma's
Yeah.
house and they have the card table that's in the basement and it never
Yeah.
gets used except for this exact purpose.
Yep.
Okay.
That's kind of what I had in mind.
Yeah,
This is when you get out the fancy dishes and so on.
Yeah.
And so, in any case, though, this is a lovely little town full of halflings that seem to be they like doing this. They like being happy and having food and fellowship and making new
Celebrating good
friends.
stuff.
Yeah.
Making new friends and drinking, well, not drinking like dwarves do, but drinking good food and having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Radius at the at some point we'll use a combination of things to make a fireworks display, kind of like with a little bit of fireball, some light diffusion.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Nice.
Full on Gandalf, got it.
Yeah, although it's slightly more gothic than that because he's kind of a zombie. And also, it's from the mouth of a talking spell book.
All right, children, settle in. Look out now, for we will display prestidigitation and trickery of the highest order. I think there's also a moment like into the evening where someone kind of looks over to see how Thafir is doing. She's been eating and talking and everything, but sees her kind of looking down, and you kind of get in a little closer, and you hear her. She's just fallen asleep at the table.
Since I'm not eating much, since I don't have to, I can just, I can be her prop to let her have a place to rest against.
All right.
What do the halflings make of a warforged? Have they ever seen one like me before?
Well,
It must be
believe it or
uncommon.
not, I think a few of them talked to you about saying, oh yeah, over there at Wonderhome, we send little, trading caravans back and forth over there. So, yeah, we see animated constructs of all makes and shapes and sizes and so on.
Tell me about Wonderhome, please.
Oh, well, Wonderhome is, I'm going to tell you in just a second because I know all about it. It is, it's a divine workshop community, and just like the Flowering Hills are where Sheila Periroyal makes her home. The Wonderhome belongs to Gond, the god of craft and smithing and invention. And almost everybody there is a construct of some kind.
The eyes just go wide.
I mean, I think Kneecap would hear this and be like, could they make something if we were to request and
Well,
pay?
I mean, they make a lot of things. That's kind of their whole deal.
Yeah, and he would pull out the dragon's tooth that he got.
Holy
I
cow!
want,
What is that? Is that a dragon's tooth?
yes, yes.
Get out!
Yeah, got it from a skull of a dragon that by the
Well, that does
Grenade.
that does sound that sounds right. Yeah, that's where you get them. That's amazing. All right, but yeah, so certainly they tell you that they've seen constructs before in Warforged because of the Wonder Homes. They're practically their neighbor.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we fade out on this joyous feast. The cat and I think we can fade back in the next morning as you have said goodbye to all your new halfling friends, and you have returned to Ledkuru, who is once again the map display at full brightness, standing up, and maybe a hint of a smile on that statuesque face. And you are once again walking your walking castle west, or rather, counterclockwise, or however we want to describe it.
Oh, I have to show you what I made while you were in Flowering Hills, and I will show the plate armor.
Ooh. Wow. That is a lot.
Get a good look because I'm about to absorb it into myself. You won't see it unless So out comes this suit of chainmail, and then he puts on the plate armor, and the plate armor fades into his body, which takes on a slightly more angular appearance as he puts on the plate armor.
I can imagine it's almost like the body folds, so like the parts of the body just kind of fold over it, and just almost like unrolling the skin over it.
All right. So as we had just talked about, Wonderhome is here on the map. It is the place that is just to the west, to the left of Flowering Hills. But it is now more or less on the way, but to Excelsior. But is that a place that you are wanting to go stop?
Tarsus is lobbying for a stop at Wonderhome
I would like to
on
stop.
general principles.
Oh, certainly. I mean, we
Most definitely.
we made this stop for us meat people, so there's no reason we can't stop for you.
Yeah.
And Christiana,
Mm-hmm.
I got the name of the dragon that tooth came from. Did I ever do research on that dragon?
I don't recall. I'm trying to actually remember which dragon it was.
It was the Acid, Lord of the Green.
Right. Let me
I'm mostly looking for
that's the last
what-
mention of it.
Mm-hmm.
what type of what type of dragon, and
Yeah. Well, hang on. Trying to remember. So, what? Dear Google, please. But
I wouldn't be surprised if if it
I
was just
yeah, I think that was maybe not something that was like in the default adventure, and so
yeah.
what is it? So remind me just the details of where it was that you got it.
We got it the
Oh,
mausoleum for Nepsis.
you didn't go all the way there though, did you?
No, but well, in the surrounding area there were a bunch of dragons, dragon bones and skulls and such, and I looked for one with a an intact tooth that I could take.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I I I'm sorry, I have forgotten the details, so I don't have any new information for you.
Well, I just like I don't know if something you would might want to come up with, like what type of dragon it is for
Well,
magic.
Lord of the Green sounds like a green dragon to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But I kind of had in my head that you specifically did not go to the mausoleum of Crenepsis.
Yeah, like I mean, like we didn't go to it. We
You
went like
skirted by.
surrounding
We
area.
skirted, yeah, skirted by the surrounding area. We didn't go in.
Hmm. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The dragon that you found, because there's a little dragon on the map, it does not
Yeah.
have a whole lot of lore for it, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to Wonderhome. Tell me about that. What's your plan?
Well, first we're gonna ask the library.
Mm-hmm.
See
The,
if there's anything else.
the halflings gossip is useful, but let's get some more
Mhm.
information
Yes.
from the investigative team. I'm not good at investigation,
Yeah.
so that would probably
Mhm.
be Radius and Cora to do the
Mhm.
investigation for us.
Yeah, I mean, tell me. You can make some investigation checks.
Indeed.
Mhm.
Let's see. And we're gonna look into Wonderhome.
Wonder
Yep.
Home.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for.
Are you going to help me again?
Millie?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Okay. All right.
A 20 again.
Biggest 20, yeah.
Good.
So certainly it bears out what you had heard, which is the gears of innovation turn steadily in Wonderhome, a divine workshop belonging to Gond, a god of craft, smithing, and invention. Populated almost entirely by sapient constructs, Wonderhome is a magnet for inventors seeking sparks of creativity, magical contraptions, or solutions to nagging problems.
Hmm.
Sounds like fun,
Okay.
does it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Um,
You four will be the unusual ones.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Definitely, yeah.
I think on the outskirts, you see what looks like it might be some provincial little town, like at the beginning of Beauty and the Beast, only every house is like Belle's house with her dad, the inventor, doing weird things
Hmm.
in the space. And so lots of you see like lots of water wheels and windmills and all sorts of other contraptions and various like smokestacks here and there. And then all of this is kind of leading up to like the city center, which has just got all sorts of really elaborate like big gear mechanisms and all sorts of turning, spinning little moving parts all over. And then I think as you approach, you see a little fireball erupt from the chimney of one of them, and a flock of birds is spooked away.
I can imagine tinkering gnomes love this place.
Mhm. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. This is yeah. You can are
Yeah,
have you set down the castle and walking in? I mean, tell me
Yeah.
what you're doing. All right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
what Tarsus wants.
Yeah.
Practically
Yeah.
skipping in.
Yeah.
Almost skipping.
So
And
you
you
see,
have definitely darting around.
yeah, so there's definitely a lot of um, Warforged, very similar to Tarsus, but also constructs of all different shapes and sizes. There are lots of different shops that are like there's one that just says Sprague's Springs, and another one that says Arcane Cores, and then under parentheses written in graffiti is that blow up. And there's just all sorts of just little shops, and seems like this may as well be a tinkerer's paradise.
So
What kind of
gonna
stuff are
go
you
to
looking
some-
for?
gonna go up to someone and say, "Do you know Weapon Crafter?"
Well, you'll probably want to go to the weapon crafting district, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yes, please direct us.
They just kind of raise and, and point.
Okay.
I am following. you,
Wait,
Captain.
before you go.
Yes.
Yes.
And they pull out a little like wooden box that's got some like gears on the outside and a little crank, and it says, "Please turn the crank."
Rather just.
Oh my God.
Um, it gets a little like there's a little more tension and a little more tension as you're clearly winding something up, and then the top pops open, and there's a little sort of like shower of like rainbow iridescent sparks that seem like they would be illusions until one of them lands on your skin and burns a little bit.
Ooh.
But then all of a sudden, a little tiny mechanical dragon about the size of a thumb um, launches itself out of the box, flaps around in a little circle, and then kind of loses steam and falls on the ground and flops around a little bit as the wings keep trying to flap. And then he just says, "It's supposed to last 30 seconds."
Good start.
It was quite
Um,
nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm still working on it. It's only a prototype, and he runs away.
Did he leave the little dragon thing
No,
on the
no,
ground?
he-
when
he
ran
grabbed
away?
it
and he
snatched it and ran
scooped
away.
it
He's,
up. Okay.
he's
Yeah.
gonna fix it. He's gonna.
Yeah. Good start. Yes, and go to
Yeah.
Weapon Crafter District.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So this is
Forges.
certainly a place if you wanted to buy like, artificed or enchanted items of various kinds. This is certainly a good place for it.
Yeah, definitely go and try and find a place that will craft the dragon's tooth into a dagger.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, so
Uh,
we're looking for like a Smith Forge sort of thing. I
Mhm.
think is what Kneecap needs.
Yeah.
I'm curious about their crafting and how they work, given my nature. So yeah, I'm there to watch and learn and talk shop.
Okay.
I'm curious how people who make wonders like we've just seen are going to react to you wanting to make a dagger.
There will
I
be
mean,
someone
It
who will
doesn't,
take
like,
up.
Well,
Rotate or vibrate or
someone make a religion check,
I'll do it.
or
Okay.
anyone who wants to can.
Yeah, I
No.
can do it. I'm curious.
I'll
21.
give it a try.
I'm clueless.
Okay.
I'm not
Well,
a very good cleric.
There's a
so-
couple of low ones, but I heard a 21.
Yep.
So, Radius, you know that Gond is a god of craftsmithing and invention, so certainly fancy new things, gizmos and so on, is certainly part of that. But also just quality craftsmanship of anything that requires it is absolutely part of the
Oh yeah.
their domain.
Oh,
I
I
say,
stand corrected.
I say, they seem to respect the craft specifically over most things, not regardless, irregardless of what it is. If you make it well, they like it.
All right then.
Yeah. So let's see. Um, so I think that if you you find what looks like a of the various weaponry sorts of shops, you see one that does look as though its display features other sorts of items made from various like scavenged or harvested parts in that way. That they might be
Mhm.
used to making leather items or working with teeth and claws and all of that sort of thing. And in fact, I think inside you see what is clearly a warforged, but one that has been made to look like a hobgoblin, and is wearing, some elaborate leather armor. And as you come in, just says, "What can I help you with, young sir?"
I will hold up the tooth. Say, I would like this crafted into a fine dagger.
They hold it up and they examine it and they say, "Ah, yes, this could be made into a dragon tooth dagger. Give me just a moment to read the rules about crafting magical items to tell you how long it will take and how much it will cost." Um, let's see. I think that. Okay. So, um, there is, in fact, you know what? Actually, it's not for here, but I'm going to apply it here anyway. Um, there is these are experts here. Um, he tells you that um, he can do one of two things for you.
Okay.
He can make you a fine, high quality, mundane dagger that just has the tooth as the blade.
Okay.
But he suggests it would be a waste to use a high quality item like this and not unleash the magical potential that it contains. I could make it into a magical dagger that would aid your attacks, do additional damage, and unlock the acidic properties of the dragon's blood. However, this will take 2 weeks to complete, and it will cost 2,000 gold.
Oof.
Wow. Hmm. That's a
They hand you back the tooth in the meantime.
yeah.
For the record, the dragon tooth dagger is an actual existing magic item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and you could make it. It's a rare item. So
Hmm.
it's a +1, but also does an additional 1d6 acid damage.
Yeah.
And then also enemies of the cult of the dragon, it becomes a +2 and does extra damage. So if you were to end up fighting the cult of the dragon, then that would. No, actually, rather, if you end up fighting anyone else who does fight the cult of the dragon.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So that's the thing is that like that's a relatively powerful magical item, that
Yeah.
but it does take some time to enchant in that way.
We need more money.
I'll
Yeah.
ask. I ask. Kneecap. How bad do you want this?
Hmm. I want. I really want something quality with this. Hmm.
I think simply as a matter of expense and time, we just don't have it.
And I have, what is the guy, if I would they also take some bartering? Like if I had a combination of magical things plus some gold, how much would that lower the cost?
Well, what do you have?
The scroll of animate dead and a feather token.
All right. Well, let me see. We can maybe do some bartering here. Okay. So Animate Dead is a 3rd level spell. So a spell scroll of Animate Dead is uncommon. So that could potentially, be worth a few hundred gold. The amount would be dependent on some rolls.
I've also got, to be fair, I've also got the Candle of Invocation as well.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't you been using that?
You
A
have.
little bit. Yeah.
It would have, it's not fresh, but it can have a number of time left on it. Let's see. You haven't really been tracking like how much time you've had it lit for, right?
I've only used it probably twice, but our fights haven't gone that long.
Right. Do you remember how much I said it was left on it when you?
I think it was 2 hours.
Okay. Yeah. So, a Candle of Invocation is very rare. Like a brand new one has a burning time of 4 hours.
Yeah,
And
that's
so-
right. I think it took me 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is certainly another item that, like very rare magical items, are, that's even more. So that could potentially be, that could be pretty valuable in this context. So let me just see. Let's see. Selling a magical item. So very rare. Yeah, okay. So it's not new. It's it's significantly used, and so I think that let's see. Let's have you do a persuasion check to see if how much they might be willing to offer you for it.
So which of us
Well,
is
let's.
doing?
Well, no. So, I mean, if it's radius, whoever's trying to bargain with the shop owner.
I will. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's
And
because it's my
So
item.
let's
Your
get
item.
I would
one
like
for
to
the
help.
one for the candle and one for the what's it the
Feather token?
well, you mentioned the token. You also mentioned the spell scroll.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would, to be fair, I would give them all of them to
Okay.
lower the price. So it's fine.
Sure.
You said
Well, but
persuasion?
you're going to make a separate check for each though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
I will provide assistance.
Okay.
All right. So did they give me advantage or?
Yeah.
I guess
Oh,
so.
nice.
Sure. Why not?
gonna
I'm
need
just
it.
thinking,
Listen,
like in context, like So what are you doing to help with the sale here, Kneecap? Like what are you how are you helping? You just giving puppy dog eyes or what? So I'll allow it on the basis
I
that you
think
explain to me how you're
puppy
actually
dog
helping.
eyes.
Okay.
No puppy dog eyes.
Well,
And-
so with a 12 is the advantage roll. So I think that they're willing to they make you an offer that they will for the scroll and the candle and the well, I didn't even put the feather token on there, but just before you, like when you've pulled out those two,
right.
they say they will take those in exchange for the making the dagger and 2,000 gold credit.
Hmm.
Oh,
Wow.
Could some of the credit go to assistance to make it work faster, or is that something that
I
can?
think that's
Yes, so he can hire someone to help with the enchanting and make it take 1 week instead of two if you want to put another 2,000 gold on it.
Mm.
So,
Or do we
and would
also
the credit
want,
cover that, or is
or
I
that?
mean, it would if that's how you want to spend the money.
Yeah, that.
I mean,
So
it's like doubling the price to save 1 week is up to you.
But what else could we get for that 2,000 of gold credits?
yeah.
yeah.
And
Sells other weapons.
That is
Yes,
true.
it does,
I will,
doesn't it?
I'll ask them.
Hmm.
I say, I am versed in the arcane. Could I do the part of the work to mitigate the extra 2,000?
So what it would take to so the short answer is yes, it would take you spending 8 hours a day here for a week.
I could do that. I don't sleep.
I mean, you
If
guys
you
tell
guys
me
want
if
to
that's
take
how
the,
you want
if
to
you
do
guys
this.
want to take the week, if you guys want to
Because
take the
the
week,
thing
I mean-
is, if it's going to take a little while to do, you can make the order, go somewhere, and then come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That's
more
what I was
I
thinking.
was thinking.
But not if
That-
you're
that-
staying here.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
vision we had just a little while
Yeah.
ago?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that our days of like, oh well, we don't have a time limit
Time
on
limit.
this are kind of over.
Yeah.
I think we
Right.
need to be about this a little more assiduously.
Okay.
So, now we are going to Excelsior,
Which
and
isn't
right,
that far away.
which isn't
From-
that far away. We could go there, see how things are. If it takes us a week to accomplish what we're doing there, then we can come back, or we can go from there and then to Automata and then circle back, depending.
Yeah.
It's
You know what? I like what I like what other I perhaps
If you're looking
use
for other
credit for other items.
okay.
And
Well, so he suggests that amount of credit would allow you to purchase any of the other +1 weapons that he's got in the store. He's got a selection.
Right.
yeah,
So
I think I would in that case I would like to get a +1 mace.
Okay.
Are
Or,
you all already
flail.
getting a powerful magic dagger out of this?
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's
based
also
on
it's Radius's magic item that's
and
paying for it.
Radius
Yeah.
is doing the
Well, I
donations.
figure
I
that's
think
the only
Radius
other
should be
thing
the
I
one
would
who
like.
chooses.
yeah.
But I could see like
Give me a
Oh.
everybody getting a +1 weapon out of it.
Everybody, no, we have enough for one.
We're up for one.
Well,
It's
so
like-
the dagger, once it's ready, is its own +1 weapon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
+1 and then some.
Yeah.
So it's just all right, who else is up towards the front line, or what is a fairly versatile weapon that should, say, one of us get
Hmm.
replaced by another version of ourselves that could still be of use.
He's also got some items of like +1, like magic shields or magic armor.
Yeah.
Who
I
all
would
who all
definitely
uses shields?
I use a shield.
I would definitely think +1 magic shield for a Tarsus would be a good idea too.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there you go. You can get you take the +1 shield.
That would be most kindly.
Okay, so he thinks that's a fair trade. It will take 2 weeks to finish the dragon tooth dagger. At which point, you're leaving the tooth with him. But he's got the +1 shield right now, and I'm going to ask you, Paul.
Yep.
Given that the theme of this guy's shop, broadly speaking, is finding ways to use various bones and teeth and claws and other sorts of animal monster products to make stuff with. What does the shield look like? And again, you
Um,
don't have to just think like, what would he have? I want you to decide what your cool new shield looks like.
Okay.
Along those
Are
lines.
you are okay? Are
You
you
don't
all
have an
familiar?
idea. I have one.
I have an idea right now.
Okay.
Are you all familiar with the Styracosaurus? It's a Triceratops that has horns all along its frill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
what the shield. The shield is basically its skull turned into a shield.
Nice.
Nice.
Very
It does.
cool.
I mean, the thing doesn't do any extra damage, but it's just like it's a dinosaur shield.
Mm-hmm.
Very Mandalorian of you.
Yes, indeed.
All right. So you can go ahead and add a +1 shield to your inventory. And
Okay.
we'll just remember, we'll have to, you know, I'm not going to probably track it literally by the day because the travel time is a little, blurry
Wonky.
here.
Yeah.
But I would say probably as a loose basis here, since you're going to Excelsior and to Automata, it'll probably be ready by the time you've done those two things.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
And
Alrighty.
what's the one after that?
Rigus
Okay. Okay.
or Rigus
Good.
or Rigus.
I have a feeling that something that's on the southern half of the map is not going to be named righteous.
No.
Well, it is Rigus. It's just a question of
Yes.
this pronunciation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fierce
All right.
debates.
All right. Cool.
Sometimes fist fights in the street about the
All
pronunciation.
right. So I think that as all of you are kind of wandering around Wonder Home here, there's some very fancy little fountains that have like clockwork, elaborate displays, and like those fountains that have it makes it look like a little leaping snake of water to going in and out of places. It's got one of those fountains, and it's got a what looks at first like it's a big fancy flower bed, but then you realize that all of the flowers are artificial and they can be individually tuned to make different pictures, almost like pixels on a display. So does anyone else have any other stuff that you wanted to do here?
I'm mainly just playing Taurus.
And I'm just looking to see what else
Mhm.
could be useful to try to pick up. Since I figure there's like lots of options around. Give me just a moment.
Hmm?
No, I am not getting a bottle of Boundless coffee. But
That's
I
tempting.
figure someone would have that.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I bet you there's 3 different shops that have set up each other, like shop fronts across the street from each other, competing for who has the best
best coffee. Yeah.
best coffee.
Um,
And they would be yelling at each other. It's like, sure, his puts out a fine coffee and it's infinite and it always comes out, but it always comes out too hot. Every time you pour it, you have to wait for it to cool down. He can't make it come out at the right temperature where you could just drink it. You have to pour it into something and then wait for it to cool down. And then the other guy says, well, better than it coming out cold. Now, if it comes out too hot, you can let it cool to the temperature you want it to be. And then the other guy saying, it doesn't matter what temperature it is if the coffee sucks.
yeah, I can't think of something right now. But
Well, you know what?
we are going to other places too.
I was also going to say you're planning to come back here.
Yes, we are
at some
coming.
Yeah.
point, so.
Yeah.
All right. So, you spend the day enjoying the wonders of Wonder Home, and then make your way back to the castle,
Yes.
and you're headed towards Excelsior.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we wander back to our home,
Mm-hmm.
however temporary it might be.
Yeah. So, as you begin to approach Excelsior, you can see in the distance that there are, like there's the ground based city with a lot of towers, including one that just rises impossibly high. To the point where it's you can't see the top because it just extends up into the clouds. And then you also see, but there are a lot of clouds above the city that have what look like additional buildings on them above the city. But even from a distance, this city is just sparkling like a jewel on the landscape. It looks impossibly beautiful.
We probably would do research on the.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sure.
So
Yeah. So let's go ahead and see some rolls. That is a 13, which is still pretty good.
oh, okay.
Hmm?
I was saying advantage. If,
I mean, wow. Roll it with advantage then. Okay, 17,
Yeah, it's
sure.
even better.
Yeah. So Excelsior is the gate town that connects to the seven heavens of Mount Celestia, the lawful good outer plane. It's primary. It's mostly composed of humanoids and celestials. There are two kind of districts to it. There is the what's called the chandelier, which is all the stuff that is up in the clouds. Generally speaking, it is mostly celestials and winged creatures that live up there. But the clouds are safe to walk on up where they are, right? And it says they are supported by the faith of the people who live there. Um, and there's transportation to and from for people who can't do it themselves. But the ground-based district is where more of the humanoids live. The current ruler is High Chancellor Foro, who is themselves human. It is basically uh, what you read about it is that it is nice and beautiful and perfect to a fault from a certain point of view, because it is the sort of place that after you go there, everywhere else just seems like it sucks a little bit more. You know what I mean? It's so nice that it's like a little bit like going to Disney World and then going to Six Flags. It's just like, well, if you'd been to Six Flags before going to Disney World, although I don't even know if that's still true about Disney World, but the point just being, it's so perfect that you almost can't help notice the imperfections everywhere else all the more after you've been there. And so it's not, and to some extent, for that reason, the people who live there don't ever want to leave, so they don't ever go anywhere else, and so they don't really know anything about anywhere else.
Like the opposite of cursed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so people stay there not because they have to, but because they want to. They don't want to go anywhere else because it's nicest in there. The big tower is called the God Strand, and it is literally in and of itself the gate, in the sense that climbing to the top of the tower stretches up, so the story goes, to Mount Celestia. Like it actually comes out on the mountain in Mount Celestia. So climbing through the tower is the gate. And it says that it is it is a tiring but pleasant journey for those with good intentions in their hearts. Those with any ill will or nefarious, sinister motives will find it a harrowing journey. That's what it says. Trying to think what else. Yeah, so the ground-based district is what's known as Heart's Faith. And once again, there is a little note under one of these accounts of visiting there that it is just a reminder that as perfect as Excelsior can see, there is a reason that it has not been absorbed and become part of Mount Celestia, which is that there are some imperfections that are going to be not always obvious. There's it is by and large a very nice, safe, pleasant, joyful place to be, but there's a reason that it hasn't become part of Mount Celestia.
Yeah. I can imagine that the
Mm.
reasons can be might wind up being something that makes it less pleasant for those who don't want to be there
Well,
for long.
certainly it is the sort of place, and again, we don't normally spend a lot of time getting into what actual alignment you've put on your characters, but it is literally the sort of place where it does matter whether your character is good or evil on your alignment, right?
Yeah.
And it's like because the people who live there take it seriously. So that is what you've gleaned from your research.
So this enters a difficulty because what we need to register the gate,
Mm-hmm.
and it sounds like it's not a specific location.
It is the tower. It's the tower. You climb
Okay.
the tower, and that's the gate.
Okay, so we don't actually have to go inside the tower to register
You need
the
no. You need
knowledge.
to go into the tower.
Okay.
But it's go into the bottom
Climbing the
area.
tower is traversing the gate.
Okay, so we need to go into the tower but not climb it.
More or
That's
less. You don't
Okay.
know exactly.
Right, we'll have to
Well,
find out when we
we'll
get
have to
there, which
find
sounds
out.
like
But this might not be
Because like the book does not say if you have a Mimir that needs to attune itself. What it
Right.
says is the gate is climbing the tower.
yes. So
so when so yeah, we're heading there. We see it from a distance, sparkly.
Yeah. As you approach, floating gardens and palaces orbit the towering structures of Excelsior. From amid the tallest buildings rises a tower of alabaster and gleaming colored glass that reaches into the clouds. As you near the tower, your Mimir rings like a bell and its eyes pulse with golden light. And also, I'm going to go ahead and share with you. Well, no, it's because there doesn't seem to be any other way to share just this artwork with you. I'm going to share the whole Excelsior handout. This not the quest part, but just the city information stuff. Just because it has in it labeled gate a piece of artwork that's pretty beautiful, I think. Putting it on the stream now. So I've just shared with you the handout for Excelsior, and the first piece of artwork in it is shows some of the city and the tower, known as the Godstrand. Pretty nice, huh?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I've been playing too much Destiny recently.
Yeah, you had the same reaction I did.
Yeah.
I haven't played Destiny in a while, but when I did, it didn't look like that.
Oh, there's been some pretty
Oh,
updates.
sure, I believe it. Yeah. So in any case, as you are kind of making your way into the city itself, all of a sudden, floating up to you is a golden gleaming. It's like a metal mask of a smiling face, but behind it is just like golden radiance and little like sort of angel wings poking out in all different directions. And it just floats up to you and it says, "Welcome to Excelsior. Can I offer you directions or advice for your visit?"
That would be lovely. We are seeking to visit, though not pass through, the gate to Mount Celestia. We have a mission that requires that we visit it.
Wonderful. That is an easy one to give you directions to because, of course, the God Strand can be seen from anywhere in Excelsior. You are simply looking to reach the bottom and then enter and climb to the top. Uh, Although, if you have any sinister intentions, not that I would ever accuse you, but just if anyone does, the content of your hearts will largely dictate the experience you will have climbing the tower. So just keep that in mind, and I won't press the issue.
Thank you.
It will be approximately a mile of stairs and ramps leading from the base of the Gaunt Strand to the top where the gate occurs. It will take most creatures approximately 18 minutes to climb.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. And then it just sort of flits away.
What expression was on the mask?
Smiling.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like speaking, like it looked like a mask, but it was moving.
Okay.
All right. So
Is there
all right.
one specific deity here, or is there multiple?
Well, Mount Celestia. Let's see. I could find that information for you. The none of the deities live in in Excelsior. The little places you were in before are like some of the more minor deities that don't have like their own whole outer plane to them. But in Mount Celestia, I can get you that information real quick. The outer planes. Mount Celestia is the model of justice and order, of celestial grace and endless mercy, where angels and champions of good guard against incursions of evil. It does not really get into that. Any lawful good deity basically is going to live there.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So you're making your way to the tower.
I think
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
So I think as you make your way in, you do see various guards that many of them are various type of cardinal, which are kind of the animal people, and some of them are just obvious celestials. And their presence is clear, but none of them seem to view you with any like hostility or suspicion. Um, you, I happened to check for all of you that none of you have an evil alignment on your character sheet. I think one of you is neutral. I think Radius was
Yeah.
neutral, right? Yeah. But so the point just being, I think what happens is once you enter the base of this, inside is just this like labyrinth of stairs. It's stairs back and forth in all sorts of like weird patterns going up and up and up and up, past, for most of you, just these glorious stained glass windows and murals and all sorts of just beautiful, beneficent scenery. And even though it is so many stairs, you just feel kind of like buoyed. You're just energized. Like, what's up at the next landing? I can't wait to see it. You know, it's like it's tiring. You know, you're not exerting physically, but you feel inspired to keep going. I think Radius, you are not having a bad time exactly, but I think for you, it's like you don't seem to be. Everyone else is acting a little bit like they've just taken ecstasy or something. Like everyone else is just going, wow, oh man, let's go, and you're just kind of like, I mean, it's nice, I guess.
It's pretty, guys. I don't.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So in any case, uh, if any of you were actually evil, you'd literally need to be making wisdom saving throws right
Yeah.
Oh,
now. But in any case, as you climb through this beautiful tower, um, and you finally reach the top, a fragrant breeze wafts across the platform atop the Godstrand. Several benches and bare pedestals surround a final flight of 7 golden stairs. Atop these stairs, an archway of endlessly interweaving golden strands forms the gate to Mount Celestia. 2 towering, bare-headed sentinels in heavy armor guard the gate. Other locals linger nearby, meditating on the gate.
I will take out the Mimir and do the thing.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, within 5 feet.
As
Mhm.
you start to approach these two sentinels,
Mhm.
do note your approach, and they do, uh, like, and again, not in a hostile way, but in a
Mhm.
they're doing their job way. They do briefly interpose and just say, "May we ask your purpose for visiting the gate?"
I am attempting to repair this device. It will not require me to pass through the gate. I merely need to approach it.
Uh, Make a persuasion check with advantage. It's straightforward. You're telling the truth.
Nice.
Okay, 26.
Nice.
Uh,
Advantage saves you.
you say all of that, and I think you have the impression you certainly weren't lying, and you
No.
had no intention to lie. But even as you say it, you sort of feel like, I bet they'd be able to tell if I was. In any case,
Mhm.
they nod and they say, "Very well, you may proceed." And they step back, and now it feels like just their whole demeanor. Now it feels like they're protecting you, not just the gate, but now you're part of this.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So as you approach this gate, and you can see through it, and a gorgeous mountain just sort of visible through
Mhm.
the gate.
Mhm.
What do you say? As with Lee, I'm not going to require you to like actually on the spot fill a minute worth of commentary, but
Yeah.
the gist of it.
Um, we've hiked up a long set of stairways in an impossibly beautiful tower, challenged by guardians who seemed to sense my good intent. And we have a peek at eternal reward. And and then she stands there.
Mhm. Okay. I'm pulling up the little yeah, the tracker document. Um, so I would say more or less, you just did that completely straight, right? There's
Yeah.
no skew there. Um,
Yeah, I'm thinking that we're if we're repairing reality, we need to
mhm.
make sure our stitches are straight.
Well, so far, all of the ones that you have done were straight, except for Cursed, which Malleus spontaneously decided to describe as in good repair, a place of safety for those who need it.
Ah, yes, I remember that.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh.
I
That's
wonder
fine.
what effect, if any, that will have.
It's good,
Well,
probably, right? Like maybe that'll mean that's what it becomes like, right? That's how it works. Um, maybe. But in any case, as you finish, the Mimir sort of chimes, boom, and the eyes sort of flash, and it seems to have registered. While you were up doing that, the rest of you were kind of standing back watching, and then one of the other people who had kind of been reflecting on the gate here. This appears to be a sort of he's what's known as a hound archon. He's kind of like a dog-faced humanoid uh, who just approaches the rest of you and just says, "Good morning to you on this beautiful day. I am Veril, and I'm a member of the town guard. I wonder if the group of you are adventurers.
We are.
Yep.
If so, I wonder if you would be interested in helping me with a task."
Tell us more, please.
And I would imagine that that Cuspid is walking back at this point,
Yep.
so could hear this. And the canine-headed Archon lowers his voice and says, "I'm in an unusual predicament. Locals have been disappearing from Excelsior for weeks. My investigations led me to a tiefling named Sincerity, who has been seen near many of the places where people went missing. Recently, I saw her enter a garden, and an individual there vanished soon after. Sincerity is being questioned at our headquarters now, but unless the interviewers turn up something, we have no proof to hold her. I have my suspicions, but I won't accuse someone who could be innocent based on my own possibly flawed perspective. That's where you come in. You're not from Excelsior. I'd love to get visitors' insights on the situation and see if they reveal anything new. What do you say?"
Sounds good to me.
"I can certainly pay you for your aid."
Sounds
What
good.
do we say, friends? Shall we help the good people of Excelsior and this upright holder of law and justice in his time of need?
And save someone from is saving people, which may include the accused.
Which may include indeed.
Hmm?
Cuspid, you've been quiet. Thoughts?
Cuspid is not paying attention to any of this conversation. She's staring through the gate.
Hmm.
It's,
All right. That might even be a fun place to just go ahead and we are at our time.
Dun,
So
dun.
I think I think that maybe that's like just a
Yeah.
fun place to end an episode. You know, it's
Yeah.
kind of like Cuspid, and then just Cuspid is kind of just got the 1,000-yard stare.
Well, you just see her from the back with the
Yeah.
gleam and the light
Mm-hmm.
coming through around
Yeah,
her.
it's a nice visual.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just one of those things you look at this picture and like, this is the part that's not nice enough to really be in the real place.
The good place, the new
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. All right. So that's where we'll leave it for this time. Thank you, everyone, for listening and or watching. And, of course, to my players, thank you for playing. Fun as always. And we will
Jesus.
return next week, hopefully, for more
Yes.
adventure on so many levels.
So
So
many
So many
levels.
levels.